I was mute the entire time. Okay. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our very special fun time episode today. Sorry you had to see me mute. Always happy to have you join us for these episodes. It's a great way to get to know one another. And today's episode is especially going to be a lot of fun. But before that, we start each question with we start the episode with a trivia question. Here's one for today. Who plays the lead actress in the Halloween movie franchise? Once again, who plays the lead actress in the Halloween movie franchise? Let me know the answer in the comments below. You can also share this image and your answer on Instagram with the hashtag CELPIP and we may feature it on our feed. I'll share the answer at the end of our show. For now, let's get into our Halloween special episode. I don't know about you, I am so excited for this episode. And if you're new here, CELPIP Live is an interactive YouTube series made to help CELPIP test takers understand more about the CELPIP test and in general, understand a little more about Canada and Canadian culture. If you're about to write the test, please subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to be notified as soon as we go live. As mentioned before, today's episode is a Halloween special episode. We did one for Christmas in season 2, but this is the first time we're doing one for Halloween. If you like these themed episodes and you're looking forward to more, please let us know in the comments below and we can make more of them. Today we have 5 guests. And if you've been with us for a while, you recognize most of these people. Well, you may or may not, because like me, they're also in costume. If you have recognized my costume, please let me know in the comments. I haven't seen anybody say it yet. Anyway, let us go and welcome our guests. Hello. Thank you for joining us. As you can see, our guests are joining in. Thank you for joining us, all 3 of you. I'm going to start with Neil, who is a mummy. Neil has been here before. Hi, Neil. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. The second guest is Anna. She's also been here. If you've watched our episode about talking about books and games and movies, Anna has joined us before. Hi, Anna. How are you?
I'm happy to be here.
Jinkies. Anyway, our third guest is Nathan, who is new here. So a very warm welcome to you, Nathan. Thank you for joining us. So that our guests now, could you give us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. Captain Nathan, permission to come aboard. My costume. So I'm on the IPP team. I'm an instructional designer, and so I help design kind of the books and the courses and the tests that you'll see on our site, the practice tests that you'll see on our site. So I'm really excited to be here because Halloween's one of my favorite holidays.
Great. So I don't want to, people who are watching, I don't want to tell you who they're dressed as. Please feel free to leave your comments below if you know who we are. Neil, Maggie says, is that toilet paper on your head?
I mean, it's bandages. Wink.
Sorry?
Yes, it's toilet paper.
It is toilet paper. Okay, anyway, let's start our show. Okay, so this is a Halloween CELPIP Live episode where we've divided this episode into 3 themes: Canadian Halloween traditions, Halloween vocabulary, and local attractions. Well, local within Canada. So if you're in British Columbia or Ontario and are up for some scary fun, unlike me, stay with us till the end for some really, really good recommendations. Okay, let's start with our first round.
He did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash.
Okay, so this is a common tradition that if you're not in North America, you might still recognize pumpkin carving. Anna, would you like to share a little bit about pumpkin carving?
Sure. Well, pumpkin carving, I know, is also referred to as jack-o'-lantern, which basically comes from an Irish old folk tale. And this jack-o'-lantern or pumpkin used to be called Stinky Jack. I don't know if you've ever heard about that, but apparently Jack invited the devil himself to have a drink with him. But Jack wanted to get away with a free drink, and he tricked the devil into picking up the bar tab. And as punishment, Jack was cursed to wander the earth through eternity. And he had a single coal to guide him, so a sort of light. And that's how sort of the pumpkins came to be. But it's a great tradition. A lot of people enjoy doing this at home. They have pumpkin competitions, and I personally love doing this. I do it with my nephew every year. And recently I've carved a pumpkin myself. I don't know if it's in there somewhere, but I did make an effort to do something a little bit more challenging this year.
Yeah, I've seen some of the pumpkin carvings around my home, and it's really something. If we're able to get the picture of Anna's pumpkin, carved pumpkin, we'll share it soon. Okay, thank you, Anna, for sharing that. I did not know it was Irish. I guess I should have guessed because it was an old jack-o'-lantern. But thank you for sharing that. Let's see what our next activity is. Costume parties. This is my personal favorite, and Anna, it looks like you're also going to be talking about costume parties with us.
Well, I was actually more focused on the costumes itself. And those, again, they date back over 2,000 years during the Celtic pagan festivals. And it basically marks like the summer's end and the beginning of fall, or as it used to be called, the darker half. So people would offer treats and foods to the gods, and they would also wear disguises to ward off bad spirits. So costumes have played an essential part in Halloween gatherings, as well as costume parties or Halloween parties. It's now celebrated all over the world, and it has been for many, many centuries. I personally love dressing up. I don't have to be a kid to dress up, but I enjoy doing it, and I'm happy that every year, even in our own company, we get to dress up and have our little celebrations, and as well as being able to get together with the families and friends and doing something fun. But parties, I mean, I I think I'm too old to go to parties now, but I used to love dressing up, going to Halloween parties, and there are many places. I know where I am in Ontario, in Toronto, there's many different places that you can go to dress up and celebrate in parties.
That sounds great. And yeah, just to continue with Anna's point, we do have like really nice Halloween celebrations. I mean, because because we've been working from home because of COVID, we've had them virtual this time. I was unable to join 2019 one, but I heard it was great. Everybody was various characters of Harry Potter from our team, which was super great. Neil was Hagrid. So we have that. Nathan, I don't know what costume you were.
I was Sirius Black that year. He was the character who escaped from Azkaban. Everyone thought he was bad, but he actually wasn't really.
Sirius is one of my favorite characters in Harry Potter. So that's really cool. And yeah, I should have guessed that. Great. So thank you, Anna, for sharing that. Let's see what our next activity is. This is not my favorite activity. Watching scary movies. I am such like I always get scared of anything, it took me a while to watch Pirates of the Caribbean because it had scary things, but it's not a scary movie. So it takes me time to really watch a scary movie, but I've watched some good ones. But we're actually going to hear from Anna again this time. Sorry, Anna, but feel free, anybody else who you'd like to share, Nathan, feel free to share, Neil, feel free to share any inputs once Anna has shared hers.
As you can see, Halloween is one of my favorite holidays. Uh, I love scary movies. I watch them all the time. Every year I try to watch the old films like Psycho or It, Poltergeist, The Shining, Saw, Night of the Living Dead, Silence of the Lambs, The Ring, The Grudge, Halloween, Insidious. Oh, there's so many. The Exorcist, Cabin in the Woods. The list goes on and on. It's quite interesting to watch scary movies. I love the element of surprise, or if something jumps out at me, I enjoy it very, very much. So I'm a big fan, and I think one of my favorite movies is It. I've seen it. I've seen the old version that actually came out in 1986, I believe, and that was a 3-hour movie, but they separated into like a mini series, so that was really fun to watch. And now they have the newer version of It, which came out in 2017, and then the second part was 2019. So it's about these kids. They're known as the Losers. They live in Derry, Maine, USA, and they're about to face their worst nightmare. And it's this ancient sort of shifting evil that emerges from the sewer every 27 years to haunt and kill the kids in the town. And they have to try to endure the summer, these kids, and overcome their own personal fears and try to, I guess, battle with the clown known as Pennywise. So it's quite interesting. There's a lot of different elements, but it's definitely one of my favorites.
You
I
know,
don't know about anyone else.
I was just gonna ask. I was gonna ask you if Neil and Nathan, have you seen? I've not seen the older version of it. Thank God. I've heard that it's more scary than
Yes.
3 hours. So I suppose it's more scary than the one I have watched, the recent one.
Yeah,
Very
I was gonna
entertaining.
say I'm much like you. I rarely watch scary movies because they just get to me too quickly. But I have seen the most recent two movies for It, and I enjoyed them. I think maybe because there was kind of a balance between the scares, and there was also some good drama and even some funny parts. So that kind of helped me get through it. But I did enjoy them quite a lot.
And
That's
in this movie, you see the kids when they're children, but then when 27 years later, as an adult, you see them. But in the original movie, they go back and forth, so they're always jumping. But in the newer movies, you first see them as kids and then later as adults. So it's easier to understand what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like one of the things that I did when I was watching it was if, like I said, I was a kind of scaredy child, so it could have taken many forms for me. Honestly, it didn't have to really think too hard to scare me. But I was just thinking, like, it's the way that Stephen King wrote it in general is that you can have it in adult life, I guess, because there is your fears are not tangible. They're like, world hunger or poverty or the housing crisis. And so how are you going to, how is that going to manifest in real life as an adult? And I had this theory was in my head when I was watching it, so I was able to watch it because, like, it is not going to come to me right now because it has nothing to manifest if it's trying to scare me. So I have these dialogues in my head. If For those of you who are watching, if you watched it, let me know if you enjoyed it. And if you watched the old one, I would like to hear from you as well, because that one is truly terrifying. Okay, let's go to our next activity. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your inputs. The presentation is janky. Who knows why? Maybe it's a ghost. But we are at apple bobbing, and this is so cute. And I really want to hear more about this. I guess, Neil, this is your opportunity to tell us a little bit about this activity.
Absolutely. So apple bobbing, I looked it up just to see what the history of it was, but it dates back apparently to the Roman invasion of Britain. So where the conquering Romans would have an annual celebration for unmarried young people, and whoever bit the apple in the apple bobbing tub first would get to be the first person to be married that year. So it was kind of a way of picking the order of getting married, which is pretty funny when you think about it now. But today, apple bobbing is just a fun activity, usually for kids, but anyone can do it. And I remember when I was a kid, we would have a Halloween carnival at my school, and everyone would try and catch an apple with their teeth. So the objective is, without using your hands, is to put your head in this bucket of water, basically, and try and catch an apple by your teeth. And it can be a little bit challenging, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely looks challenging. Have you played it? Did you say you played it?
Yeah, so I was never really very good at it. So back in the day, I guess I would have had to wait a long time to get married, but yeah.
Okay. Has anybody else played it? I've never played apple bobbing, and I'm very curious to play it now, even though I am married.
I don't think this is easy though, because you really have to open up your mouth to try to grab the apple. It's not an
Yeah, it's
easy
really hard.
feat.
No.
Yeah, I think I've only played it once ever, and that was probably at a school event when I was a kid, and I was not good at it.
Yeah. School events are challenging, you guys. I used to play the sack race, and I used to play the spoon with the lemon on it. I think it's more popular with egg, but it was lemon, and I don't know why. I guess it's less to clean up. And I was bad at both. So there's that. Just sharing. Anyway, moving to our next activity. Haunted houses. Okay. Haunted houses is again Anna's forte, it looks like. So, Anna, go ahead and share your experience with us.
Well, haunted houses basically exist to scare people. And I think the idea behind haunted houses is definitely not new. People have entertained themselves with spooky stories for centuries. And I think even books like Edgar Allan Poe, they used to be extremely descriptive and gave a lot of creepy and haunting information. But even our some of the books, I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, but I just remembered that there are some of the fairy tale books that are for children that are wonderful, but their origin is actually something very scary and gruesome, and sometimes they're referenced to haunted houses or ghosts. And the origins of haunted house actually date back in the 19th century. This was in London, and it was basically a series of illusions and attractions that were introduced to the public as a new form of gruesome entertainment. And you would see that a lot, I think, in wax museums. That was something really popular many, many centuries ago. And then it later became more of a commercial horror attraction. So there are different places you can go to, like Niagara Falls. They have a lot of haunted places or haunted houses, but especially in Halloween, people will go and see these haunted houses to be scared, and you'll see many people jumping out at you. So it's, for me, it's fun. I actually enjoy it. I usually have a great laugh. I don't get scared, but I laugh a lot. So I don't know about other people's experience. So.
I want to hear it. Anil, how has your experience been in a haunted house?
So I actually went to one this year. It was at like a Halloween fair the other weekend, and it was too scary for me. I kind of chickened out halfway through. There's just it's very intense. There's a lot of like At this one, there was a lot of flashing light and smoke, and it was very atmospheric. But a lot of other people were having fun, so that's what matters.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Anna, I'm like we can talk about this, but I just don't understand why people would pay to be scared. Like to be scared out of your mind, and that's something that like. I've been to haunted houses.
Yeah.
With groups of people who wanted to go, and then I was just with them, but most of the time my eyes are like just shut, and I'm trying to like not have them because I can still feel them, right? There's somebody like there's wind in my hair, or somebody's like trying to like tickle me or something, and it's yeah. Mhm.
I think because of the unknown, you're maybe not expecting it, or there's that feeling, that sensation, just like if you're in a uh, I'm trying to think of if you're like in Canada's Wonderland and on one of those rides, there's some exhilaration. I feel the same way when it's something like a haunted house or a haunted movie or from reading a book. I love sort of feeling something different than the usual norm when you're with your family or at home or if you're at work. There isn't any something that jumps out. But haunted houses I absolutely love, and I am planning to go on the 31st to Castle Loma. So they have something called the Legends of Horror, and you go down into the basement of the castle, and it's quite interesting to see how elaborate it is, and they have so many different actors that are there to scare you. But I find them very enjoyable.
Great. I'm glad you're enjoying yourself this episode. It's really nice to see. Anyway, let's move forward with our next activity. Corn maze. So this is Neil's forte. Corn maze. Do you want to talk about it, Neil?
Yeah, absolutely. So a corn maze is a relatively new invention. They became really popular in the past 20 years or so. So what'll happen is a farmer who grows corn in their field, after they've harvested all the ears of corn, will strategically lay down patches of the cornfield so that it forms a maze. And people will walk through it, and it usually takes about an hour or so, and you get to kind of enjoy the fall atmosphere. A lot of times they'll be combined with the pumpkin patch, so there'll be a lot of Halloween themed stuff in there. I think recently on the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, that Netflix show about Sabrina the Witch, they featured a corn maze in one of the episodes. So they're getting more and more popular, and I know that if we stick around through the end of this episode, that we'll talk about some corn mazes that people can visit this fall as part of their Halloween activities.
Yeah, there's a great one. There's a great recommendation if you're up for it. Um, okay, thank you for sharing that, Neil. Let's move on to our next activity. This is Halloween house decorations, and also a lot of these traditions are also very popular tourist attractions that you can check out. So we'll talk again. We'll talk about that towards the end, but it's just something that I thought of. Okay, haunted houses is Anna B's forte. So Anna, let's talk about it.
Well, actually, I don't do much of decorating at my place because I live in an apartment. So, but I think if I were to live in a house, I would definitely be up for decorating. I know my husband tells me that if we ever live in a home, he can see me starting to decorate the place during Halloween. But many people, they even have contests. For this, and I love it. I also sometimes take photos of it when I'm doing my daily walk. If there's something that's really nicely decorated, and they have all something like a tomb or a cemetery set up, and they have these ghosts flying everywhere. I think they're fun.
Sounds great. Nathan or Neil, have you guys decorated your homes?
I have an apartment, so unfortunately I can't really decorate the outside, but I definitely love walking around my neighborhood because this time of year the houses are just covered in decorations, and I love language jokes, and so many of the houses I walk by have gravestones with jokes or pop culture references or terms. It looks like somebody's name, but when you say it out loud, it turns into a joke. And so I really enjoy going for walks this time of year.
Yeah, so this is the first year that I'm living in a house. So my wife is really, really into Halloween. She's been decorating the outside of the house, and specifically our front garden. She's put up a whole bunch of gravestones that she's made. So I'll take a picture and we'll put it up on our social media soon.
I'm mute again. I actually wanted to kind of like quickly see if our producer can share a picture of the pumpkin that Anna carved right after this activity. So whenever you're ready, let's look at Anna, the pumpkin that Anna carved. Okay, it's fine. We'll see it towards the end. That's okay. Let's go to our next activity. Oh, okay. So
they're creepy and they're kooky.
we're here at Spooky Vocabulary, and again, for people who are watching, this is a great way to kind of take away some good, like, new words that you may or may not have heard of. I, in fact, haven't heard of a couple of these words when I was preparing this presentation. So if you're ready, let's start for the first word. We already spoke about this jack-o'-lantern, but I'm going to let Nathan, if you want to explain to our audience what jack-o'-lantern is briefly, because they already know about it.
Yeah, for sure. So Anna already gave you a great history of kind of the term and how they came about. But yeah, jack-o'-lantern is typically a pumpkin that you've carved and you've hollowed out, and you've carved into a face. Sometimes you actually cut the holes. Sometimes you just shave it so that the light can shine through. And very common to put a candle inside the jack-o'-lantern and have it up on your doorstep at Halloween. And I believe kind of one more historical thing about them is that, yeah, they came from maybe Ireland and Scotland traditionally, and back then they might not have carved pumpkins, but other vegetables like turnips they might have carved and hollowed out and put on doorsteps. And yeah, they would have potentially warded away evil spirits that people thought might be passing by on that night. So I kind of like that little historical tidbit.
That's actually really interesting because, so I'm Hindu, and I don't know if anybody else who's in the comment section is also Hindu, but we also have this tradition where we put up a pumpkin. It's not typically the red pumpkin, it's typically the white pumpkin. So we put it up, and then for warding off evil, and that's a very interesting kind of like cross. We also have lemons. Lemon, again, is a very important kind of negative energy crusher. So we have that. If you see trucks in India, a lot of them have lemon and chili hanging at the bottom of their truck to ward off any evil, because people love their trucks, whether it's in India or whether it's in southern parts of America. Everybody's obsessed with their trucks. So that's a great, Nathan, thank you for sharing that. I did not know.
It's cool. I guess there are many different cultures and traditions have similar things like that. Yeah, that's super fascinating.
Yeah, it's very. Okay, let's go with our next word. Trick or treat. Anna, do you want to talk about what trick or treat means?
Well, it's now a tradition where people go door by door, especially children, and they say trick or treat, and they do receive all these candies, chocolates, and there are different rhymes that I've heard of, like trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat, which is one of the things that as a kid, we used to say. But technically, if you're asking somebody trick or treat, if you say trick, then you do something maybe to scare people, or try to do something that you wouldn't normally do on your own. But if you say treat, then you're just expecting candies. But it looks like you have a better definition there, so I'll let Nathan explain that one.
Go for it, Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, trick or treat, I think Anna kind of explained it pretty well. I don't know the historical meaning of trick or treat. I just know that it's super common catchphrase that kids yell before they get candy when they knock on their neighbors' doors. I will add that when I was a bit younger and living with my parents and I was helping give out candy, I wouldn't give out any candy unless the kids said trick or treat first. They had to work
Oh,
for it just a little bit.
and then I think Anna, you were talking about this. Is it actually that so the treat part is the candy, and then the trick part is that they have to do a bit or like something that is a part that is reflective of the costume they're wearing. Is that correct?
Well, you can do pranks, for example, if you say trick, and then you might have to do something that you don't normally do on a regular basis. But so if I say, okay, go kiss your grandmother or something, just something that you might not be comfortable doing, basically, that is the trick. So usually it's best just to say treat, and all you want is the the candies, of course.
That's very cute. Okay, let's go to our next word. Thank you for sharing, you guys. Loving this. Halloween. Neil, do you want to explain what Halloween means?
Sure. So Halloween refers to All Hallows Eve. So it's the night in which the spirit realm is closest to the realm of the living, or at least that's the traditional meaning of it. I think an alternate name for Halloween that people might have heard is Samhain, or I guess it's spelled completely differently from how it's pronounced. So it's spelled Samhain, but it's pronounced Samhain. So if you're into the occult or witchcraft or things like this, All Hallows Eve is when your powers will be the most powerful.
Good to know. So there is also the definition of the word if anybody is reading. Okay, let's go to our next word. Lycanthrope. Okay, so the picture kind of gives it away, but this is the word that when I was researching words and I was like, this is a very interesting word and I would like to know more about it. So Nathan, would you like to go and tell us what this word means?
Sure. So lycanthrope is another term for, you might have heard the word werewolf. So someone who can change into a wolf shape and back, traditionally during a full moon. I'm a big nerd for the histories of words or the etymologies. And so I believe lycanthrope comes from ancient Greek. And I really like the term werewolf as well because werewolf comes from Old English, so kind of the English or the language that was spoken in England maybe 1,000 years ago or more. And were, W-E-R-E, basically means man, and wolf just means wolf. So werewolf literally means man wolf. So I kind of like that little history to it.
I also love like the etymology of words, and the reason I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and a lot of the names of the characters, so like Professor Lupin or Mad Eye Moody, all these characters actually have like a hint towards their okay, like the continuation of their character. So like I guess I don't know, Nathan, correct me if I'm wrong, but Lupin does mean wolf or something close to
I
like.
think lupin or lupus is part of the scientific name for wolf, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, there's definitely a connection there, like you said.
Yeah, so that's why, and ever since then I've been obsessed with like understanding where words come from. So thank you for sharing that. Let's go with our next word. Paranormal. Anna, do you want to share, tell us what paranormal means?
Oh, sorry. It looks like I've been muted there for a bit. Well, it's the unexplainable. I think that's how I would refer to it. So there's no scientific explanation for it. It's things that occur, but there's no real way of tangibly showing what is going on. So if you see a ghost and it appears, there's no explanation as to why this is happening or how it's happening. So that's how I would see it. And I've always wanted to see a ghost, believe it or not, but that never happens. So
Thank you for sharing that. I don't know, Anna, if you've been seeing a lot of people are loving your costume.
oh, thank you.
They
I
have.
should get into character.
Oh gosh. Okay, so towards the end of our show, it's just going to be Anna doing that. And I know that it's 10:30 in India, so good luck if anybody's watching from there, 10:30 p.m. Anyway, so here's something that I've always wanted to know. What is the difference between words like, or rather, what's the difference between ghosts that are poltergeists and then spirits versus something else? So, Nathan, maybe you could tell us what poltergeist means.
Sure, I would love to. This is another chance to talk about an etymology. Um, so yeah, words like ghost and spirit and ghoul, I kind of have a hard time telling the difference. They, for me at least, they seem to be used in contexts where you're talking about people who've died and their spirits are still hanging around. But poltergeist is traditionally kind of a special type of ghost where they pick things up in your house and move them around and make lots of noise. And I think the meaning, the literal meaning of the word, kind of describes that because it comes from a German term, polter, meaning kind of something to do with noise or making noise, and Geist being ghost. So very similar to English, Geist, ghost. So poltergeist basically means a noisy ghost, which is kind of funny. And it takes it, if you're scared of poltergeists, the meaning noisy ghost kind of takes a little bit of the scare away from it.
Yep, definitely. Thank you for sharing that. So then that means that spirits can be poltergeists, and then poltergeists can also be spirits.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. Like all poltergeists are spirits, but not all spirits are poltergeists.
Yes, now I understand it, and now I'll be able to use those words more accurately next time I talk about ghosts, which is very rare. Okay, let's go to our next word. Malefic. I'm gonna let obviously anybody else is open to also talking about the meaning of this word, but Neil, if you can tell us what malefic means, that would be great.
So I think malefic, if I'm not mistaken, comes partly from Latin, and mal meaning bad. But I think if you use it in a sentence, like as an adjective, it means someone or something, a spirit, if you will, that's capable of causing harm or supernatural destruction.
Thank you. That's like the character that I placed there because I had no other image. I didn't know what to put for Malefic, but that's Maleficent. The evil fairy in Sleeping Beauty who is the one that places a curse on Sleeping Beauty. So that's Maleficent. And there's also a movie with that character. But Anna and Nathan, did you have anything you'd like to share about this word?
Only that, yeah, like Neil was saying, the part of the word mal, you'll probably see that in other words like maleficent and malevolent and malicious, words that kind of describe someone who has who has bad intentions towards something or towards other people.
I think you've both summed it up beautifully. I don't have anything else to add there.
Somebody is missing Brandy. Brandy is taking a break because she's preparing your CELPIP lesson episodes for you guys. But she would have loved to join this. So thank you for thinking about her. I appreciate that. Okay, let's go to our next topic. Things to do in Canada. So you guys, if you are in Canada, I really think that you guys should try these places out, especially if you have a little more, if you're a little more brave than I am. I'm also, it's so good that I'm also kind of like interested in trying it out, especially a couple of activities. Okay, so let's go with our first one. And just before I start, I did want to say that Nathan, Anna, and Neil Nathan, Anna, and Neil will not be joining us for this theme. We will have our two other guests. If you remember correctly, I said we have 5 guests, and because the software and then the bandwidth cannot hold like so many guests, which is why it's glitching. We'll just have to say bye to Nathan, Anna, and Neil. Thank you so much for joining us. Nathan, Neil, and Anna. Anna, I'm gonna hold you back for just 1 second so that we can do this before after Nathan and Neil leaves, because I really want the audience to see it on the big screen.
Thank you so much. It's been a blast. I've had a lot of fun here.
Thanks for having us.
Neil, thank you. Okay, Anna, I'm gonna let you go for it. Okay, great. Thank you so much for joining us, Anna. Bye. Okay, so we're not done yet. We still have things to do in Canada, so we just quickly talk about this too, just so you guys have an actual chance to look at it if you're here in Canada. To talk about this, we have 2 of our interns, Sandy and Dia. They're both interns here at Paragon, especially in the marketing department, and they will tell us about what to do. Sandy, thank you for joining us. Dia, thank you for joining us. Sandy, if you could mute your... Yes, thank you. So Sandy, as I said, is our intern here. She's also been, I think, in our episode before, and Dia too. So I'm going to let Sandy give a quick introduction. Go ahead, Sandy.
Okay. I'm the video behind the scenes, so be in front of camera. But so I'm hoping to show around Vancouver. Yeah, Dee and I worked on that until Halloween. So they are and right now, and I first.
Sorry, Sandy. All this while, I thought that you were doing this voice effect just to make yourself sound scary.
That's what I thought, like a Halloween spooky voice filter.
And it was working very well until somebody said in the comments that Sandy may have like an echo problem. So I didn't know. It was going great. I was like really like, ooh, Sandy's like really come with some hot stuff. But I'm gonna give you like a minute if you wanna like see what the audio issues are. But Tia, thank you for joining us, and please introduce yourself to the audience.
Thanks, Ashwati. First of all, I just want to say everyone's costumes were great. And I personally love Halloween as well. I've never celebrated it in India. So I only started celebrating Halloween after I moved here. And I think it's a really fun holiday. And also, just to introduce myself, I'm the marketing intern for Paragon. And you might have seen me in the last CELPIP live episode where me and Brandy did a segment on misheard lyrics. So that's where I first did my CELPIP live episode, and I'm really excited for this one as well. Um, so I actually didn't like dress up as a scary person, but I wanted to do a scary cop outfit. So I have like a badge and like a costume for the police. But it's too early in the morning to like do my makeup. I really salute Anna for that. Like she actually did an amazing job doing all of that. And Grudge is one of my favorite horror movies. So I definitely recognized her the moment I saw her costume. And yeah, I think if Sandy's mic's working, she can try.
Sandy, let's try again. And we can start with our first item in this theme.
Okay, I don't know if it's better. Is it still echoey?
It's not. It's very okay. Let me put this. It's very scary. I mean, it's very in the theme of things. It's you're not audible. Anyway, so I'm gonna let Dia talk about this a little bit, and then Sandy, we can come back to you afterwards. Sorry. Go ahead, Dia.
Yeah. So something that I do every year, I go to PNE Fright Nights. So PNE has an amusement park called Playland, and they have lots of like roller coasters. They have lots of like kiddie rides. They have just like small like games that you can play, and it's good for like all ages, like kids and adults. So I personally love amusement parks. So PNE has the amusement park called Playland, which has a Halloween theme experience. It starts in October. So Playland in the past has become Slayland, and then the other name that was given was Fright Nights, and now this year it's called Hallowed Eves. So basically, the whole park turns into a scary experience. There's so much like creepy decor in the park. The rides are decorated to be scary, and the most fun part is all the staff, they dress up as like monsters and like zombies and like just like creepy people, and they would just walk around the park, and sometimes they would even like sneak up on you just to try to scare you a little bit. So that's really fun to watch. And it's up to you, like if you want to go and dress up to the park, if you can just go in like your normal outfit and just enjoy the whole experience. And what something interesting that they have is they have haunted houses at PNE, so you can just go into a haunted house in addition to going on the scary rides. But unfortunately, this year due to COVID, they have shut it down. Just it's because people were like too crammed up together, and it was like a small space. So just like those restrictions haven't like been the best for Playland, but still, like if you just want to go take the rides and like see people dressed up, it's a really fun experience. Also, they have live acts as well. So people over there, like they perform stunts, they perform things with fire, and they have like live events where like people are just doing magic. So that's also really fun to do. So that's one of my favorite things, PNE Fright Nights and Hallowed Eves. And the thing that I want to do this year is go to Mont's Farm. So basically, like Mont's Farm is just a land owned by this Indian family, and they grow produce on it. But during Halloween, they turned that into like a fun activity for people that they can come and visit their farm and do Halloween stuff. So something that everyone can do, like kids and adults, and like if it's not too scary, they have pumpkin patches, so you can just go to the farm and pick out a pumpkin and take home to carve. So people know that pumpkins are not just like brought directly to the store. There's something they grow in like an actual land. Like it's something for the kids to know. So that's something that you can do. You can carve a pumpkin and take it home and just pick out a pumpkin yourself. And the other thing is they have a not so scary corn maze. So like you just have to get from one point to another. And I think it happens during the day because if it's for kids and people who don't want to do scary stuff, so they can just like, navigate through the maze in the day when it's not scary. But if you're looking for the actual like scary stuff, then you go at night and you go with a group of friends or just like even two people. I don't think they let you go alone because it gets like really scary. And what they would do is they would just let you go from one point to another. First of all, you have to find your way through the maze. And the added scary part is that the staff over there, they're dressed as monsters and they would just like
Oh God.
run past you and they would just like do weird noises, just try to throw you off. Sometimes they might just like sneak up on you as well. And if you even want to take it a level higher, then you can go for their pitch black corn maze. So what they do with there is like no light, no nothing. It's pitch dark, and you just have to like just feel stuff and find your way through the maze. And people can even like grab you while you're doing
Oh
it.
my God, they can touch you?
Yeah.
That is terrifying. Okay. I
It's
watched
amazing.
Man Farms. So Man Farms is like Prachi said, sorry, Prachi didn't say this. Dia said this. Prachi said something else. So like Dia said, Man Farms is like a farm where they grow produce, and I've only been there to pick strawberries. They have amazing produce, at least based on the strawberries. And each season they do this thing where they try to get people to come and visit their farm. So in the summer they have a strawberry theme, and then they make you like fresh strawberry ice cream. They even have wine made of strawberry. It's really great. And there's also like this place, there's a store inside the farm where you can buy like pickle, and you can buy any other kind of like chutneys and things like that you may be missing from home. So it's a great place to visit. So they sent me emails basically because I went for their strawberry picking thing, and I saw the email that gave a trailer of this corn maze, and I was terrified. There's like an It costume person who's waiting for you. There is this person who's dressed like one of the characters from Batman, who's terrifying, and they chase you. And I was like, okay, as long as they don't touch me, it's fine. But you just said that they grab you, and no,
if you go for like the normal corn maze or even just the haunted corn maze, then they can touch you, especially to COVID and all that. Like they can't really like be close to you. But if you go for the pitch black one, so they have like different corn maze experiences. It's not just one theme. They have like 3 different themes. And also they have the scariest like forest in Canada. It's like the scariest maze in Canada, that's what they call it. But the specific event called like pitch black, that's the one where it's completely dark, you can't see anything, you just have to rely on like touch and like find your way through. And that's the one where they can grab you. But like otherwise, yeah, they don't really grab you. So if you do want to go, you can go for the other one. You don't have to go for the pitch black one. Like I don't think even I would want to go for that, because that just sounds too scary. I can't just walk around in the dark in a scary corn maze. That's just too terrifying.
I was going to ask you if you've done it. If anybody in the comments have tried it or are planning to do it, please let us know how it went. You can come back and reply to this episode later. But I'm really curious, because that is, if you've done that, then that's really impressive, because that just looks scary. Okay. Do we have another slide here? If we do, let's go to that one. Okay, these are things to do in Ontario. Dia, would you like to talk about these as well?
Yeah, sure. So basically the things to do in Ontario are the same as what you can do in BC, the ones that I want to talk about. So just like Playland, there's Halloween Haunt at Canada's Wonderland. But Canada's Wonderland is like a huge amusement park. Like it's way bigger than Playland. So I think they have like more activities, more haunted houses. But the essential idea is the same, that the whole like theme park turns into like a scary park. And they have like everything decorated as scary stuff. They have creepy decor. And the scariest part is that their roller coasters are just amazing. Like they're so scary. I've been to Wonderland like 3-4 times, And there's this one ride that I can't get over. It's called Leviathan. So basically, if like even if it's not Halloween, just going on that ride would like scare you so much. So they take you really, really high up, and then they drop you at like almost a 90-degree angle on the roller coaster. So I would definitely recommend, if someone loves roller coasters, then they should definitely visit Canada's Wonderland. But for Halloween, like I think it's even a better experience, because just being on the rides is scary enough, and then you have all these like monsters looking at you and just walking around. They have so many live events as well, just like Playland. So I think Canada's Wonderland is a really good experience for people who are in Ontario. They should definitely check it out. And also, just like Mon Farms in BC, there's Haunted Hollows. Oh, sorry. I actually wanted to talk about Haunt Manor, but I think that's similar to Haunted Hollows Halloween Scream Park.
Well, I'll let Sandy like explain that if
Yeah, Sandy, go ahead.
your audio is okay. Hi, Sandy. Welcome back.
Hi, now.
Unfortunately, Sandy, you sound. I love your voice, but it's just not clear enough.
Maybe headphones, maybe.
I think she is wearing headphones, and we've gotten some really good recommendations from other people as well, trying to help Sandy out because we really want to hear you, Sandy. But I don't know. Unfortunately, we can't, and I'm sorry. But thank you for joining us anyway. Okay, so Sandy's gonna try and come again. I'm just curious, Dia, have you been to Ontario and just for these attractions, or have you just
No, I've been to Ontario. I visited with my family, so I've just went for that. I actually, funny thing, I was gonna go to Ontario in October, and I had a whole trip planned, but like due to COVID, like flights got canceled, stuff got canceled. But I actually was going to do all of this. So it breaks my heart a little bit that I have to talk about it and not really speak from experience. It's just research. But otherwise, like I have like visited the park, I have like seen the attractions. There's something called Haunt Manor near Niagara Falls. So Niagara Falls is the biggest attraction in Ontario. So that Haunt Manor is similar to like Mon Farms corn maze. They also have scary mazes. First they were indoor mazes, but due to COVID, like again, they just switched everything outdoors. Thank God they didn't cancel it though. They just like moved it around. But yeah, you just have to like go through the corn maze, and they have about like 7 different haunted houses that you can experience, and like all the haunted houses have different themes. So every haunted house has like a story. So like for example, one of them can be a haunted cemetery, or like a haunted asylum, or a haunted like dark manor.
Wow.
So you can just pick which one appeals to you, or you can try all of them. Like I would try all of them, but if you have time. So you can do that. And there's something that they do. It's called hay rides. So I think it's like a small like a train that goes through, and you just like ride through and see all the decorations that they have over there. But they discontinued it this year because of COVID again. Everything's just messed up because of COVID. Like all the attractions are being discontinued. But that's something that was interesting. Yeah.
COVID is the horror part for this year? Your Halloween theme is like your Halloween day, or like the 31st of October, or just generally 2021. If somebody like, I'm surprised there are no COVID coronavirus costumes, because that is the truly terrifying aspect.
That's actually a really good idea. I think I might like watch out for people who are gonna like maybe dress up as COVID, because that's the actual scary thing that everyone's terrified of. And I think maybe you should try it, Aswati.
Yes, I will try it. Thank you, Dia. So there's also, if you're still looking for things to do in Vancouver, there's also a scary house kind of thing in Port Coquitlam in BC, which I just went by, and even the outside is very terrifying. So there's that as well. Hi, Sandy. How are you doing?
I'm good. I switched something. I don't know if it works. Oh my gosh. I switched the laptop. so I'm using a different laptop. So yay! Okay.
So I'm gonna let you quickly, because we've had a long conversation.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna let you quickly share your input. Do you want to talk about things to do in BC or in Ontario?
In BC.
Okay, let's move to the slide before. And Sandy, go ahead.
So one of the things to do that's all year round that's good is escape rooms, and especially horror themed escape rooms. And sorry, I'm just gonna look here because I have my notes on this other laptop. But what's good about it is that you don't have to wait till Halloween, because all these escape rooms are just all year round, and every single escape room has like a different theme. So depending on what you want to do, even if you don't choose a scary theme, I think it's the atmosphere is kind of scary enough when, you know, something clicks open, like everyone just jumps. So recently I went to an escape room for my birthday, and I did a theme called Transylvanian Vampire Hunters, and it wasn't scary, but because of like the mechanics of the room, when you did something, the door would click open. That made it scary because someone would jump and then other people would scream as well. But I think it's better in a group when you're doing these escape rooms, because it's not fun with just 2 people. The more people, the merrier, since you can make a lot of fun memories. And some popular escape rooms in Vancouver are actually Exit and Time Escape. There were more before, but I think they closed down because of COVID, which is unfortunate because they really had good escape rooms. But for Exit, it's all over BC. There's locations Abbotsford, Surrey, Chilliwack, West Broadway, Richmond, Burnaby. So, and every single Exit location has different themes. So you can literally go play them all. And for escape rooms in Vancouver, I think the prices average around $25 to $30, and it's usually for 45 to 60 minutes, depending on what kind of theme you choose or which place has it. But I know for Exit, it's 60 minutes, and it's $25. And what's good about Exit also is you get discounts on certain days of the week. So if you're a student like me and Dia are, we get 30% off on Mondays, and then there's a senior discount and also family discount. Then I think there's a ladies' night as well discount for that. So that's pretty good. And
Thank you, Sandy. Sandy, what's your costume?
oh, I'm actually Bear, sorry. There we go. Flipped it
A
on.
bear? That's adorable.
Just wear a onesie because I was like, you know, it's kind of festive. But I didn't want to, I think it's really basic, but it works. So yeah, I love your costume, by the way, Ashwati. Like, I think I was like thinking to myself, like, once I saw you, I was like, I'm pretty sure she's Velma from Scooby-Doo. So I'm like,
yeah, one of my favorite characters in Scooby-Doo after Shaggy.
And also another thing you could do in Vancouver is called the Vancouver Horror Nights. This is something I haven't done before, but I really want to do. And it's basically a maze. It's 2 mazes. There's one where it's complete darkness, kind of like the corn maze, and you get a glow stick and you just navigate through the darkness. But I think there's it's pretty long, and then also there's like actors inside, but they don't grab you unlike the maze, so that's good. But what's really kind of eerie about this is that it's actually in the Giggle Dam Theater in Port Coquitlam, and it's actually like a haunted theater because a murder took place there in 1993.
Whoa!
Yeah. So you might see some real spirits if you're looking on top of a staircase. And
wait, so a real, just one murder, or is it like?
So this is what I pulled from their website. So basically, what they said is William Ronald Rudy was murdered by his business partner, and then his body was stuffed under something under the stage, and it wasn't discovered until a few weeks later by the police. So people have been saying that there have been spottings of like ghosts, and they hear sounds, and there's actually like a recording on their website to listen to like the sounds.
Crazy. Port Coquitlam has a very interesting it's very interesting because I haven't heard about this murder, but do you know that there was a serial killer in BC whose farm was in Port Coquitlam? So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I think, do you know the pig farmer story?
I haven't heard of that one, but I've heard of other stories.
Oh gosh. Okay. I don't want to go into lengths over here, but it's a very old story, as old as it was in 1990s. But there was a pig farmer who fed all his murders to the pigs so that there weren't any evidence, because pigs will eat anything. So that's also in Port Coquitlam. It's a good thing to talk about right now because it's very on brand. But do Google pig farmer in BC, serial killer pig farmer in BC, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Anyway, thank you, Sandy and Dia, for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you guys here, and thank you for sharing these attractions. They're great.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. It was nice hearing all like the spooky vocabulary and then also hearing more attractions. I wish I could, I'm like hoping to visit one of these attractions before Halloween ends.
Let me know how it goes. Great. Thank you. Okay, so that was our episode. I haven't forgotten our trivia question. Who played the lead actress in the Halloween movie franchise? The answer is Jamie Lee Curtis, one of my favorite actors of all time. Such a good actor. Jamie Lee Curtis, if you don't know her name, she was also in Freaky Friday, the mother. Anyway, thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, give us a thumbs up and let us know what else you would like to see next. Our next episode will be on the 16th of November, if I'm not wrong, with Brandy. Until then, please take care and have a happy Halloween. Bye.